No, sir.
We're having too much fun.
The Family Unification Resettlement Initiative Service Center was recently reopened to assist Jamaicans who have been involuntarily repatriated. To tell us more about this is forensic social worker and president Carmeta Albarus. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. I'm going to start first of all by clarifying what is a forensic social worker?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trained as a clinical social worker, but I work within the criminal justice arena. And so it is sort of where social work and law sort of intersects.
Okay.
And so what I do in my line of work is do a total and complete biopsychosocial investigation on persons who commit crimes to see the underlying factors that contribute to their decisions, etc., etc. So, and I've been doing that now for like 34 years.
No, but that's a very important job, Miss Albarus.
Yes, it is. It's needed, and it really gives you a perspective as to what can influence a person's behavior and influence their decision. And doing the work that I do, you know, I see so much in terms of dysfunction within the family and how a lot of this is sort of kept in and not expressed. And then when it is expressed in a very negative way. So, you know, essentially, that's what I've been doing for the past 34 years. Prior to that, I was a teacher here.
All right, so the center is Fury, is that what you call it?
Fury.
Fury.
F-U-R-I.
What is Fury?
Family Unification Resettlement Initiative. So that's the acronym for the organization that I started. Actually, it's going on now 21 years ago. Last year, we celebrated 20 years of doing this work. And finally, we have a place that we can, is home, that we can feel very proud of, that we, you know, our clients, whoever come to our doors, can feel valued. Because that's one of the things that I have seen in my work. People don't feel valued. They don't feel valued by family. They don't feel valued by community. They don't feel valued by society. And this sort of feelings that they have, you know, really reflects on how they see themselves and how they see others. So having some place where, you know, people can feel safe, because that's what it is, you know, that I've found out. When I've worked on hundreds of cases all over the country. Not my office is in Harlem, but I go all over. And one of the reasons why I have been doing this as long as I have, and I should have retired some time ago. I said I was going to retire at 65, but I'm still doing it, is because when I am in that space with a person, and it's usually, most of my time is spent in jails and prisons, and having the interaction, and them feeling a sense of safety, then they can visit, a lot of times, the trauma that have led them on a particular path. And so with Fury, when I started Fury, is because of my work coming to Jamaica. I have clients, immigrant clients all over, but a significant number of my clientele, immigrant clientele, is from Jamaica. And my work means that I've got to go where they were born, see how they were raised, see what influences they had in their lives, and bring the story back. And my story is used then 90% of the time to avoid a person getting the death penalty. That is how I became involved in the Lee Malvo case, because it was showing what, you know, is life's trajectory and how it led to that.
Wow.
And so in coming to Jamaica and recognizing, you know, individuals who have been deported, I said, you know, these are my clients who left, a lot of times as children, had this distorted view of America, came up and saw the reality of what America is, and fell through the cracks.
I like the fact that you use that word, because it says support for involuntarily repatriated Jamaicans, but you're not using the word deportee. Is there a reason why?
Well, because there's a stigma that's attached to the term. It's a very dehumanizing term. And so while at one point it was used very much, the government, and I'm very happy that they have decided to change that term. However, a person who is involuntarily returned, the stigma still remains. And so it really remains very, very difficult for them to integrate, reintegrate into the society because of certain barriers, you know. But as I said, I recognize that, you know, going up there and then coming back, a lot of times, no family, no social system. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of them end up in very, very
bad situations, very bad situations. So what happens at the center? They're involuntarily here. What happens at the center?
Well, what we do at the center, and you know, is we give them support. We give them information because we don't have a residential facility, so it's really resources. How they can, you know, apply for jobs, how they can get, you know, licenses, how they can get their identification, TRN, etc., so they can access services. We before the pandemic, we even had like a food pantry that we would provide food for them. But with the pandemic, things changed. Things changed with the pandemic because persons coming in at first had to be quarantined. And that was taken over by the government and the Ministry of National Security, which still does that. And so, and during that time, you know, a part of our, you know, our structure, the place that we have in Graydon Avenue, you know, suffered severe damage after rain had been full. So we had to sort of rebuild the place. But this period gave us an opportunity to really do what we needed to do to rebuild our center. Rebuild it at a place where, you know, our people who come there can feel very good about coming there. And so it was the reopening of the center. So now as we go forward, however, we don't want to just focus on involuntary repatriated Jamaicans. My work tells me that I have got to do a little bit more. And in doing so, I also want to do some community work, working with our young people. Because I'm over there in the US, and you hear about the crime, you hear about the youth and how involved they are in it. And I know trauma plays a significant role in that. And so as we move forward, we want to expand on our services, not just, you know, working with involuntary return migrants, but also working with our young people so that we can give them an avenue with which they can express their trauma.
Yeah. So you're doing some preventative work.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly.
What happens in terms of how they reintegrate? I'm sorry, we're almost out of time. With family. Because as you say, a lot of them come, there's no support system. Do you try to connect them with family?
Yes, yes. That's one of the things that we do. Connect them with family here and also connect them with family that they have left behind. Because that is also very important because usually the parent, you know, is returned and the children are left back there. And so making sure that they have that connection, continuation of that connection is very important. And so that is something that we provide for our clients who come to our office. We have a magic jack so they can always call, you know, and you know, and make connection with their family.
And to be clear, it's not just clients from the US, but
no, it's not. No, anyone who has been involuntary returned, whether it is the US, the UK, or Canada, you know, our place is there for them. And in the U.S. particularly, you know, we have what we do there. And primarily it is giving people information. So when they do come, it's not so much of a culture shock. And also, you know, of late we have been contacted by immigration attorneys who have clients who are coming out who, if they come here, there is absolutely nothing for them, especially if they have mental problems. And you know how the medical system, you know, the health system here in Jamaica is. And so we have been assisted in that regard too. And, you know, quite a few persons who were slated to be involuntarily returned, they have had their deportation order waived.
Yeah.
Where is the center?
The center is located at 11 Graydon Avenue, which is off Hackney Park Road. And, you know, it's headquartered in the U.S. as a 501c3 charitable organization, and the office is in Harlem.
Do you want to give people some information in terms of numbers that they can contact locally?
Yes, the number, you know, to locally, and it's, you know, WhatsApp number.
Right.
876-279-3283. And the website is www.familyunification.net.
And I'm hoping that we can put that number back on the screen
So people can see.
so people can see, because
There it
it's
is.
very important work that you're doing. We have seen and we have experienced how lost a lot of these people who are being involuntarily repatriated in Jamaica, how lost they are. Some become homeless, and as you rightly said, some don't have family here. So it's just,
And
you
desperate
know,
times lead them into desperate
Yeah.
nations.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
very happy.
And so we want to really see what we can do about changing that and changing the narrative.
yes.
Absolutely.
We have to change the narrative, because no matter what, if they're marginalized,
Yeah.
then
That's what's going to happen. It's so great to have you. We have to go. It's not lost on me that you're in Harlem.
okay.
No, it's not. Our national hero, Sir Marcus Mosiah Garvey, was very active there for human and civil rights.
That's
and you
right.
continue that, and we are very proud of you.
Absolutely
that you're
commendable.
able
Yes,
to do
yes.
that.
Thank you for
Happy
all
to
you
be
do.
here.
Happy to
Great.
be here.
We're
When
happy
is
to have
National
you.
Honors and Awards nominations?
That's you. Oh, I think
When?
about August.
No,
because-
the nominations. I want to know when are the nominations. There's some people doing young man's work
Yeah, man.
that need to be recognized, like Miss Albarus right here.
Thanks for all you
President
do.
of Family Unification Resettlement Initiative and Forensic Social Worker Carmeta Albarus. Yeah.
Now, after the break, empowering people to be their best. We'll be right back.